Absolutely ideal for singles or couples camping with some space for guests. 5,700 pound, very half-ton towable J-Flight 24 RBS landing here at Haylett RV of Coldwater, Michigan. And if you hadn't noticed, it's -9 degrees outside. But I tell you what I'm not going to do. I'm not going to complain the entire time about how cold it is, because I've got friends and family in places like Texas at the time of this recording, where a huge chunk of that state is without power. They've been sleeping in their vehicles at night just to have heat. So I'm going to appreciate the fact that I can just walk inside that building and warm up whenever I want to. Enough about that, though. What are we looking at here? Well, the best-selling RV since 2005 and counting, with the best warranty out there, the best tires available, the best roof load package, galvanized steel blowout guards in your wheel wells. God forbid the best-in-class tires don't get you there. You get the idea. There's a lot of best-in-class qualities. This is an amazing floor plan. If what you're looking for is something like, I want to stay under that 30-foot mark, I want half-ton towability, but I don't want a 90-degree neck cranker entertainment center. I want a nice bathroom. I want a true queen bed. You got it. You got it. Also, do me a little favor along the way. Leave us some comments. Let us know what you like about the camper. If there's something you'd change, if you have a question, any feedback I can give you, any feedback you can give me, the more we can keep that communication going, the better off we can be, and you'd be surprised how much of your information does get back to the manufacturers. Thank you, guys. Enjoy the show. Now, there's a lot of really good qualities that go into a J-Flight RV, and I think one of them that you can sense immediately, but maybe you're not like consciously aware of, is that taller ceiling in here, measuring 6'9". Full-blown J-Flight, well, actually all J-Flights with tandem axles do that, including the 2-axle SLX models. Full-blood Wildwoods do that, and the tandem axle Catalinas also do that. And it opens it right up in here. But the taller ceiling means taller slides, and that skylight up top, that's an optional piece of equipment we've added here. That really opens it up and helps make one heck of a big difference. There's also a couple different decor options. What we are looking at today is called CASHMERE Cottage. Basically, the brown tones, you know? You also have the option of going with the modern farmhouse decor, which is going to spark it up with a little bit of the whites and the grays. And we stock both of them here at Haylett RV. Today we just happen to be looking at CASHMERE Cottage. Big windows around that extra large U-Dinette. Actually, if we take a look at this over here, one of the nice things about that is it can fold down into a sleeper. And that's a really cool factor in this one. It's a great couples model, but with decent guest capacity. There's a radiant barrier in that slide floor, by the way, to help you stay a little bit more comfortable. We'll talk more about the thermal aspects of the RV when we step outside. We'll even get to see her with the slide closed, just to really give you the, you know, the full Monty, as it were. Oof. No, actually, I'm not going to give you the full Monty. Anyway, direct facing entertainment center is one of the signature calling card aspects of this floor plan. It's really nice so that, you know, you don't have to do the 90-degree neck wrecker to be able to see through this thing here. Before I forget, that bathroom door that we're looking at also does have its own lock on it. Nice little privacy feature that J-Flight's always been really good for. All the cabinetry, by the way, pocket screwed, long lasting. Now, if we really crack everything open here, you see with that taller ceiling, it allows them to put a little bit bigger cabinets in here, and they really maximize the effect of that by putting a shelf in there. Their command center, you know, all your buttons and switches and that stuff, it's all hidden up here around the corner, out of the way. Another thing I want to make sure that you folks know, the standard refrigerator in this would be a gas electric two-way, 8 cubic foot. What we're looking at today is the way we normally build them at Haylett RV, a little bit of RV nerd preferred kind of stuff, with that 10.7 cubic foot DC compressor fridge for that maximum capacity and just, you know, superior cooling speed. Now, the countertop is shaped in a way that there's a chunk of it that's hard to get to from the inside, so they make sure you can get to it from over there. And like all big J-Flights, we got plywood drawers down to the floors, ladies and gentlemen. Over here, we got our oven, of course. That's pretty self-explanatory. But what I do want to show you is the good thought process they had in here by making sure they partially open it up, you know, for like wastebasket space. It's just really well thought out, really well executed. And even the sofa gets in on the action a little bit. Kind of reminds me when I go home. I just sit down, I just enjoy some sofa action. That's so stupid. I like the extra cabinet space up here. There's a part of me that wishes they kind of wrapped it around above that overhead window, but then I guess a corner of that cabinet would be hard to get to anyway, so I don't know. I think it's kind of a 50-50 thing, but notice all of our seat side windows open for airflow. There's blackout night shades on these if you need them, and the windows are fully framed out, which is kind of cool. And I think what that does is it really gives our pleated shade anchor something very solid to bite into. Full storage below the U-Dinette even. You see those drawers there for, not drawers, I'm sorry, doors. I don't know why I struggle. You know, the two words sound similar. They're used in a lot of the same places, but I don't know why. I get them mixed up all the time. Apologies. I'm an idiot. Free floating table there if you want to be able to pivot that around. You could use it in front of the sofa. A little bit of a dinofa action if need be. Little pantry kind of attainment storage. Little storage above and below the entertainment center. But notice how that TV can pivot around for easy viewing. So it doesn't really matter if you're sitting in the dinette, if you're sitting in the sofa, no matter where you're sitting, you got a pretty easy time of it, man. Now, a question I get all the time here is, could I put a theater seat there instead of that sofa? And the short answer is no, you can't, because there's like things like the furnace, like you see that big wooden box under there, that is occupying the space that prevents a theater seat from being put in place. However, we have an option for you here at Haylett RV. If you look at something like the 252 RBS Freedom Express, it's a very similar layout, but it does give you a theater seat. It's a really cool layout. From here, we're just a hop, skip, and jump away through the bathroom. I know some folks like the fact that they actually fully privatize that off. Some trailers with like the barreled ceilings won't tend to do that because it's hard to make a flat top door line up nicely with a vaulted ceiling. There's times it's easy, times it's not. Now, you might have noticed our decor changed a little bit. The bathroom will always be farmhouse because this is the smallest room. They wanted the lighter color package. They wanted to open this up and brighten it up a little bit. Great floor space in here, by the way. Plenty of legroom, porcelain foot flush stool right there, and that taller ceiling means taller shower. Very handy facet for a taller person like myself, as you can see. Now, if we flip around the other direction, basically standing in the shower, this is what we're going to see here. Nice big corner sink, which is great. I like that angled medicine cabinet so that everything kind of faces inward. But up here, above the kind of, you know, refrigerator, cooktop, kind of camp convenience center, this has a big extra hanging closet space. Now, if you wanted to add some kind of shelf, like what would you do? Would you add shelf space in here? Would you use it for hanging closets? Because I think you could put some stuff down here below while still have clothing hanging above and have some room to spare. That is some fantastic space. And we've already kind of peeked at it from this direction with everything opened up, but I thought you would like a, you know, a more clear view of everything here. The design that they go with is an interesting kind of half privacy wall because they wanted to make sure that you still had that extra storage overhead. They also didn't want the RV to look and feel too cramped and too small. Have you guys ever seen like a big house where they chop it up with a bunch of really small rooms? You never feel like you really get much out of it. I like that. I like that hardware. That is, I think, a smart decision. That high-rise faucet and that dish drying rack. And notice how everything is inset into a sealed edge counter space right here. Wider 30-inch entry door means easy coming and going. Very nice if you got like a platter full of food because you've been grilling out. And one of the more desirable qualities, I think, right here is that 60 by 80 true queen bed. Almost nobody in this class of RV is giving us a true queen bed. Almost everybody says, okay, we're going to make this as inexpensive as possible with a camp queen. If you want to, maybe you can put a true queen in. But we're not going to do it for you. And Jay Flight says, no, we're going to do all that. Now, at first glance, what they're doing here might look a little weird. Because you look over here, and instead of a hanging closet, you see dresser shelving. And then you've got all this extra space above. I do like, though, how Jay Flight puts struts on those doors. Kind of like ZZ Top. They got that strut. But you see a hanging closet over here. Remember that back in that bathroom, you have that massive hanging wardrobe space. And by the way, that sticker, that's telling you right there, that's where you're going to put a solar controller should you choose to put some panels up on the roof. Now, down below here, in years past, some folks weren't always super enthused about the way Jayco did their underbed storage. Some people wanted it separated inside, outside. Some people wanted it wide open. So they kind of did a 50-50 here, but even where you're not looking, they're using plywood. Jayco doesn't use what they love to call beaver puke. you know, particle board, OSB, chipboard, etc., they always like to use a prime, you know, original alpha material, even using plywood here under their bed decking. Easy lift struts to get you down there. If you needed to, there is a little bit of a pass-through space there in case your cargo does shift. Obviously, you got to kind of weave your way down there a little bit, but you could get to it. Chances are you don't got to do that often, though. But then they left this partially open, which I think has a lot of different purposes. The first thing that jumped in my head is like, oh, cool, storage totes, duffel bags. But then I started thinking, what about like a pet bed for the old doggo? What about like a litter box for the kitty cat? Like, what would you guys use this for? I'd love to know. Now, one of the other really, really cool features on this floor plan is the fact that with the slide closed, you maintain access to about 99% of it. I want to call it full travel access, but the little teeny tiny cabinet spaces around the entertainment center, that's the only thing you're going to lose out on. But short of that, you can get from the front to back and back again without ever really having to even take a single sideways travel trailer two-step. Now, I mentioned previously that these have the best warranty available out there. There is nobody else in this class that matches the warranty that Jayco has. They have their 2-year RV warranty plus 3-year structural coverage. That is some best-in-class coverage right there. And it's a bunch of little things that get them there. It's little details like the way that they actually cover and trim out the, you know, the exposed baggage door openings. And notice how this is extra wide. It's extra tall. It passes all the way through and has some space under the bed, but it's not a complete underbed storage, the way that they've kind of revised some things there. You may have noticed those stable steps. That's an optional piece of equipment that we like to put on these, because if your old Uncle Josh has one too many barley pops, which is about 1.5 barley pops, I am the lightest of lightweights. I would be a cheap date. But basically, you know, whether you've just got poor balance, if you've had one too many, or if you just don't like the trailer to rock and roll as you come and go, that's where those things are really going to come in handy. Power tongue jack doing the heavy lifting for us. Power awning is virtually a given nowadays. What I do want to hit on here is a couple other fine little details, though, like the 30-pound propane tank up front. The way that Jayco actually includes a handy little adjustable foot pad down there, so you don't get to spend so much time with your thumb on the power tongue jack button, which is still admittedly way easier than manually cranking stuff ad nauseum. These are all key to like too. So your entry door key, your baggage door key, your deadbolt, all this stuff operates off the same key, which is really, really nice and handy. So you don't got to walk around with a whole jingle jangle bunch of keys on you. The bigger doors also have magnet holdbacks, and you can see here that you have both side and rear view camera prep on these, which is something typically reserved only for laminated trailers. Now, another option that we like to add to these is the J-Flight thermal package. Trick is, you can't really see much of it. Now, they're not the only ones in this class that are enclosing their underbellies. That's becoming a more and more common thing, and I'm glad to see it. But Jayco does spend more time, effort, money, investment, whatever you want to call it, on their underbellies. It's kind of the difference between putting on a jacket and putting on a coat. You know, it's thicker, it's heavier. In a J-Flight, the thermal package, you're putting on a coat. It's not just an enclosed underbelly. It's also heated, forced air heated. It also adds insulation. They use radiant barriers through their slide floors on these also, just to help keep everything comfortable. You can see how all the windows are tinted. So kind of like, you know, the tree in my neighbor's backyard. You know, I can see out of that tree into the window, but they can't see out of the window into the tree where I'm hiding. Never mind. We're still settling out of court on that. Never mind. My lawyer probably doesn't want I'm talking about it. Whatever. On the back here, you see that spare tire. It is amazing how many times a spare tire is actually optional on a lot of other trailers. Now, if they are, at Haylet RV, we're going to include them. We don't ever want you needing a spare tire, but we want you to have one in case you do need a spare tire. Black flush, outside shower, both standard on these. Sometimes optional, sometimes not available on some similar brands. And it's all these little details that I'm sharing. You know, it's like drops in a bucket. J-Flights are rarely the least expensive, the lightest weight in their class. They're often among the most highly decorated and equipped, though. So that roof ladder would take you, obviously, up to the roof. That was a very stupidly awkward way of phrasing this. I'm an idiot. But there is standard roof solar prep up there as well, which is very nice and handy. Now, I don't know that I call this a full-on camp kitchen. I'm going to call it a little bit of like a convenience center, but it is nice and handy. You got that big fridge inside. You could always plug in a mini fridge out here if you wanted. You've got the little cooktop, propane cooker hooker down below, and that is a real sink and with a real drain, not just a dog dish that you flip onto the ground. If you want, you've got outside TV hookups over here under the awning in the main patio space, and down here below, we've got, of course, the best-in-class Goodyear endurance radials, rated for 87 miles an hour, which is just one short of going back in time. So thank you for tuning in. Thank you for joining us. If you appreciate the efforts and the dedication that we have here for you today, please hit that subscribe button and follow along. Once again, leave me some comments to let me know what you think about her, right, wrong, or otherwise. And short of that, remember that we don't do hidden dealer fees and we do everything else. So take care, stay safe, have fun, and happy Haylett camping, everyone.